Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Somebody's Heroes. We are currently into season 2, y'all. I'm Eric. I'm the dungeon master for the Raven Court, and we are back with a recurring cast member.
Hey, I'm Johnny. I play Solarian.
Yeah. What does Solarian do with his life?
Yeah, well, in the 15 years of time before this moment, Solarian has been learning everything he can about divinity and what that means, what that entails in terms of responsibilities, in which he would then just shrug off and completely ignore. What that means in changes of him and how he can reach the highest point that he can with his own divinity. After searching and dealing with Myosin in his own way, he then focuses completely on divinity.
One of the things you've done through your time as well, and that you would have found, is it took a little bit of training at first, a little bit of intentional dying to figure out how to tap into your godhood and your god mode. But eventually you did figure out how to trigger it on your own. So you can, at this point, as an action, trigger your deific transformation and enter your god mode. Took a while to do that. So after Myosin, you figured out how to do that, and then you began research on how to get more of it.
Yeah. I think the main thing that he's looking for is just, it's for some that may be searching for divinity. Maybe some aren't even searching for it, but those that acquire divinity, there are some that like to use this for the people that praise them. There are some that want to use it for the good of the population, but for Solarian specifically, it is only for himself, which is a dangerous path that he doesn't know he's going down. But he's doing it anyways.
Solarian commits to the bit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that for him. Love that so much for Solarian. Okay, so as you're doing that, you've run out of research in places like Solus End, where they worship Oral. There's only so much that you could get access to. You tried the libraries down in Tamraze, where Link holds high status. You've checked out Sylvain's old libraries in Baldock Castle. You didn't know where he kept the good stuff, but you checked his main libraries, and you found some things in there, but there wasn't a whole lot. Most of what you found there were names of different gods in there. Varying degrees of worship. Some were major some seemed to be more major than others. So you're starting to figure out that there's a little bit of a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll an insight check of all the content you've read from just those 3 places.
Sure. That'll be a 20.
Nice! What was Solarian's base assumption going into doing the research on how divinity worked and godhood and that kind of thing? What was his base assumption?
I think he knows that there are pieces of divinity that are absorbed by certain individuals and like himself. And I think that he knows that there are divine beings that are very much like him and can be under the radar. He knows that I don't think he understands that there's a limit to such divinity, but he knows that there has to be some insane power involved to have gods that can just appear. They can leave the material plane whenever they want. They can come back here whenever they want. And certain things like that. Obviously, there's complications and things of other deities short blocking others and all of
whole
this
new level of
treacherous
politics.
and yeah, exactly, political sphere of things. So gaining power doesn't go unnoticed, but he does understand that there are pieces of divinity that need to be absorbed in order to gain more power.
Okay. So from a power structure, you've kind of figured out that gaining more absolutely will gain you more power.
Right.
Will it gain you more profiles or more areas of influence? You're not sure, because you don't know the full hierarchy of how that works. You're still not sure. Again, like you said, you don't know the top limit. And even after all this research, you do find out that there seem to be gods above gods above gods above gods in very much of almost like a pyramid, it's a pyramid scheme, bro. But
just an element.
There is one god that you cannot find a god above so far in your research, and that is Io. Bahamut and Tiamat's parent has no referenced divine being above it. So there is a top somewhere. Most pantheons, it just stops, but then you see a reference in another one where it's like, okay, here's more of the tree.
Yeah.
But it's laid out in very much those kinds of ways. So you've checked out a bunch of celestial sections. And as you're in Frostfang in the middle of March, it's like the 14th or 15th of March, you get a message from Lilith, whom you haven't heard from since Taoliva. Right afterwards, she said she was going to rebuild the library. Morwen offered her a spot, and you haven't heard from her since then. She's letting you know the library's done and at your disposal.
Wonderful. I think that making a trip to that library is at the top of my priorities. So I will gather my things, grab the gift that I have for Morwen, which is just more information, obviously, which she probably already knows, but here we are, bringing a few books, and I will teleport over.
Okay. You teleport on over to the site of the new library, and the first thing that you feel is wherever you were aiming at for the library, your teleportation gets redirected into the spot in the library in which you want to go.
Wonderful.
As if there's no doors to the place. It's just
that makes sense.
If you can get in this library, you are worthy of the knowledge.
Right.
And you will go where your mind and heart desire.
Okay.
You get brought out, and you get dropped right into it immediately feels like a holy place.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this room resonates as if it is not divine, but approaching it. You see remnants of temples of long gone deities, or long gone cults, or other religious artifacts and relics that have been scoured from across the continent.
Yeah, I would expect no less.
On the table in front of you, a few books begin to land. As if, again, this library knows what you're here for.
I think I would take the books that I had brought, setting them onto the table, and just kind of looking around and saying, "These are for Morwen. Please make sure she knows that I was the one that brought them." And then I will grab the other stack of books, and I will walk over to the nearest comfy chair, and I will sit and read as long as I have to.
All right, then go ahead and do I'm going to say a history check with advantage, because you're taking your time. You've got books with the content in front of you. It's history or religion, whichever's better.
All right. That is not the brightest here, but that is a 15.
Okay. Took you a while.
Yeah.
There are no windows in this room for you to gauge time.
I'm immune to exhaustion, so I will stay up as long as I need to.
And you can't tell how long that's been because, well, there's no windows. There's no way to tell the passage of time. This room glows on its own accord. It does not change for day and night. It just is the same pseudo-celestial temple that it is. And you find a nice, comfy chair. Prop yourself up in it. Stack of books on your side and begin thumbing through. The results of your research. You find that there are gods that have been killed before Orcus. And they were replaced by other gods of different names. Based on your previous assumptions, you would probably assume that this is people taking up the mantle after they killed the god themselves, just like you took up you and the others involved in the Orcus fight took up various mantles of Orcus after that fight. You see them gaining worshippers, but you don't see them gaining power. Displayed power, specifically.
Which I think is something that Solarian takes extra care understanding, because his entire understanding of gods and their hold on everything was that they were only here because they were worshipped. They were here because people believed in them and prayed to them and gave them their spiritual power. And so you're saying that that's not the case.
It does not appear to be, based on some of the readings you're seeing in some of these texts. Now, there does seem in most texts to be a direct correlation. More worshippers does equal more power. But this is the first time you're seeing anything that says that maybe you can gain worshippers without more power, but gaining more power always gets you more worshippers.
So
there's a correlation, but it's not causation.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to have one to have the other.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You could have 1 million worshippers tomorrow if you had 1 million worshippers.
Right.
That doesn't mean you have the power that 1 million worshippers seems to bring in other texts.
Okay.
Because this is a library Lilith put together, you do see a book that has a little bit of a fae coloration to it as well. It's that like yellow-green glow with a little bit of dabbling of pinks and purples, and it's a fun-looking cover up for a book. You open that up, and it seems like the fae deities are akin to or almost the same as the gods and deities of the natural world. So like druidic, what the druids would worship if they were to worship gods. But they seem to, in the records you were reading in places like Solasend and Tamraze, they seemed to disappear or fade into, not oblivion, but disappear into the record. They were way less worshipped once civilization started taking hold. Solasend still has a lot of those records because it is one of the few places that survived the meteors. So it still had all those records. Tamraze had a couple of references to it, but not a lot of information because they had to go off of survivors of surviving documentation that came from what was the Zephyr plane before the meteors fell. So a little bit of that weird gray area, but now through looking at the Fae book, you're seeing almost like Zeus and Jupiter correlations, where they're next door, but they're the same. They're probably the same person, just different name because of translation. Like a Sylvan into Elvish type of deal. And you're realizing that some of these Fae gods, while older, might be the old nature gods.
Okay. Do I find a list of gods?
You have found roughly around it. Let me roll a D100 over here.
Sure.
Because you could have found theoretically a lot of names. With looking at 4 places now, you could have found a lot, especially using Sylvain's library.
I'm sure that it's not like a fully updated list, but oh no, what did you roll?
The second best number you can roll on a D100.
Oh, no way. 99?
You got 99 gods and a bitch ain't one.
Holy shit. Damn. That's fucking funny.
That combined with the other gods that you knew, because you also knew about Sauce, Conrad, Volcan, Jaden, the ones who took it with you. So you technically know the name of like 104 gods, 105 gods, because you plus the others who were in there. But you already knew some of those.
Then I think he's going to be taking these gods and just it's painstaking work, but I think he's going to try and do research into each of them and see their general relative power level and try to compare it to himself. I think that's what his next step is. Okay.
Let's see if you make any headway at all on this. Go ahead and roll for me You're going to roll 2 d20s. One is going to be a history. The other one's going to be an insight.
Okay. History going first. That is a 6.
Okay.
Insight. That is a 9.
This is a long list, bro. This is a long
I know
list.
It's going to take a while. I know it's going to be a long
Starting at the top,
time.
Starting at the top, you know that Io would kick your ass in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting him, like, I'm imagining him going through and doing, like, one of those YouTube videos of, like, A tier, S tier, F tier gods.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're slowly moving yourself down the list.
Yep. That sounds right.
Right now, I'm pretty sure you've put yourself in F tier.
Yeah.
As far as gods go.
Fitting. Yeah.
Your base assumption at this moment is most of these gods would kick your ass in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Because you have maybe your 10,000 worshippers who are your people back in Frostfang.
Right.
Your population of Frostfang is technically your only worshippers, and that's it. So when you compare that and realize that they technically only count as one, because it's not a you also, when you factor in diversity of places and peoples, and you look at all the variations, it's like, fuck.
Okay.
You realize they are all, at your current moment, the odds of the ones you have right now would probably all kick your ass. That's not saying they wouldn't, or that they wouldn't help you in some way, but your base assumption right now is that they would all kick your ass, with the exception of Jaden, who has not accessed divinity. Sauce, would you really take it from a friendship being like that?
Right.
Conrad's more powerful than you, and you know it. He walked in with divinity and walked out with more. And
take him.
You saw Volcan in the fight. He wasn't doing the best, but he's the one who finally took out God Mode Orcus, and he ended up taking divinity on top of that. You don't know if he's accessed it. You don't know if he's done any of that right offhand, but you do know that he was dangerous before divinity. If he's accessed it, it's worse. So he might beat you just because he has divinity now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not that you couldn't kill them, it's just harder.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Jaden is the weakest link on the chain that you know of at the moment. She's down F tier with you. 100%. But there's a couple others who are low tier. They seem to be referenced as demigods, but they never were referenced as having divine actions. So it's like, it's similar to Jaden, where they were divine, they were divinity, but they never tapped into it. They were the children of gods who never became more than that.
Ooh, that's a good question then. Do the children of gods have divinity in them, though, to be taken?
You based on your research right now, you can't tell.
Can't tell. Okay.
Based on your research right now, you cannot tell if you can take it if they haven't accessed it.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Let's go kill some demigods.
Let's go kill some demigods. Okay.
And as you're doing this research, it's been... You can tell only because you're getting a little more lethargic and hungry.
Oh, I would absolutely be snapping my fingers for the every so often magical glass of blood to be brought to me.
But the sustenance they're providing is not the same as the fresh. And you can feel the difference after 3 days of doing nonstop reading.
Okay.
And when you look up from your book after and your research notes, I kind of see him on the floor with a bunch of books around him and big old graph paper and all that. You look up and you
Sylvia.
You look up and you see a red and purple tiefling standing there in a red vest, just like,
hello.
How are you doing today? Having any
Wonderful.
luck?
Here and there. Who are you?
Well, I'm in your notes.
Ah,
You've
that
seen
would
my
mean
name a
that
dozen
you are
times.
a god then.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I see your chart there. You could put me at a solid, probably C tier.
Okay. And why do I have you here looking over my notes? What can I do for you?
Well, I've been looking for you since, well, you remember a very strange fella that you may or may not have met at the midnight ball. A human by the name of, I believe he was going under the name of Cyrus Ward.
I apologize. That night was extremely quite a bit of a clusterfuck, if I should say so. I most likely had met someone of that name. Why?
Well, he was there looking to confirm the identities of those who killed Orcus. At my behest.
Something is starting to turn the wheel. I do remember this conversation.
Well, he was supposed to return with more information than he did, but he did return with the information of your whereabouts and general locations. But you've been on the move for the past 15 years. And rather elusive.
Well, I don't want somebody that could do me harm to find me, so that would mean that you're not here to do me harm, correct?
Of course not.
Good, because I have friends here. Friends that I can call upon with a snap of a finger. So just keep that in mind.
Well, I have friends too, and they are probably more incentivized to defend me, considering I cut them paychecks.
Well, I don't think you're here to measure how much more powerful you are against me, so why don't we cut to the chase?
Yes. Well, you have been on the search for more than you have. More of that spark. I see it in you.
And what do you propose to give me more?
I can teach you how to get more for yourself. God does not give up their power. Nicely.
Of course not.
You typically have to rip it from them.
You will teach me how to harvest more. What do you get in return?
A favor. To be collected upon by the end of the decade.
A decade is a long time.
A decade is nothing for us.
What kind of favor?
Oh, it would be nothing that would harm you or your individual current associates.
Well.
And if you ask nicely, I may extend it to future associates. If you ask nicely.
I have all the friends I need now. So, divinity for a favor. Must be one very large favor.
One I know you can provide me with, based on the friends that you keep.
Deal.
I love it. He just starts drafting out the deal and sign here.
I would like to take a look at what the, of course, the fine print and all of this might entail.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay, not good at those. Okay. 18 on the die, 20.
The dice are telling the story, and I love it. You go over this contract with a fine-tooth comb. It seems to be all above board.
Okay.
And it lists out that it will not harm your current allies.
Okay.
And as soon as you touch the paper, it kind of can tell who those are and writes their names down. And it's only your closest allies. Sure. So like Lilith is on there, Morwen's on there, obviously, Link, those type of people.
Okay.
Well, and he will teach you how to grow your power.
Well then, I think he bites his finger and then signs away as the blood slowly goes down to his pointed claw.
It furls back up, goes back to him, and says, "Pleasure." Shoves it in his in the inside of his vest pocket. The name's Moloch.
Moloch.
Yes.
Well, then.
And you, young one, are about to make both of us very powerful.
Good.
The best way to gain more seeds, the same way you did the first. Kill the ones you can.
Then I need you to give me a list of those I can kill.
Oh, you want me to help you with your little project here?
Well, if I'm going to do a substantial favor for you, you have to tell me where to get my power. That was part of the deal. You need to help me grow my power. So, the best way to do so, I have spent every resource that I have to find these seeds of divinity. I need you to help me find those I can take it from.
Let's get started.
Let's.